Adobe After Effects is the most well-known program to create visual effects and motion graphics. It's used in post-production for TV shows, films, video games, and it's also used by creators here on YouTube. If you don't like its complex interface functionality, or just hate spending money on subscriptions, we'll show you 5 After Effects alternatives, both free and paid, to help you find the one that best fits your needs. Coming up next on Zain's Tech, we'll start out with the best alternatives built into video editing software before moving on to those that are more specialized. The best After Effects alternative overall is HitFilm Pro. With Adobe to edit your videos and work on visual effects, you need 2 separate programs, Premiere Pro and After Effects. HitFilm Pro can handle both tasks in the same program. It's feature-packed. It includes advanced 2D and 3D motion tracking. Their visual effects toolkit is quite large, with more than 880 visual effects and presets to choose from. Also included are high-quality lens flares and lighting effects to help produce a more professional look. And their particle effects are some of the best in the industry to replicate explosions, smoke, the weather, and a whole lot more. For video creators, you might want to take a look at their titling and text animation tools, especially if you plan to create motion graphics like lower thirds or 3D titles with animated textures. HitFilm Pro is not cheap, but unlike After Effects, where you essentially pay a rental fee to use their software, HitFilm Pro is a one-time cost of $349. If you want to try it out first, they also have a free demo with no time limits, but there is a catch. When you go to export your project, there is a watermark. HitFilm Pro is available for both Windows and Mac OS. It is resource intensive, so make sure your computer meets the minimum system requirements before using. For those of you that find HitFilm Pro to be too expensive, they operate a freemium version called HitFilm Express, which includes most of the basic features. Instead of having all the add-ons that are already included with HitFilm Pro, Express lets you pick and choose which add-ons you want for cost, depending on your needs. HitFilm Express for some of you might be the better option. Our free pick for the best fully featured alternative is Blackmagic Fusion. Fusion is a professional quality program from the same folks that make our favorite free video editing software, DaVinci Resolve, for motion graphics designers and visual effects artists. Its VR and 3D compositing is top-notch. It's been used in many popular TV shows and films, including Guardians of the Galaxy, The Hunger Games, and American Horror Story. Well, working with layers works best when editing a photo or video. Doing so with visual effects is quite cumbersome. Their nodes face process connecting various effects and filters is quite a bit more efficient and faster than working with layers. Some of the features include the ability to work with both 2D or 3D to create animated text and titles. You can also create advanced 3D particle effects and motion graphics to include in your project. When it comes to 3D compositing, Fusion is light years better than After Effects, especially when you become familiar with how to read the note flow chart with Fusion. To use Fusion completely free, it's included with DaVinci Resolve, which is also free. To use Fusion on its own with additional premium features, Fusion Studio is $295. For most people, the features that included with DaVinci Resolve should be all that they need. Both DaVinci Resolve and Fusion Studio are available for all 3 of the major platforms: Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. The first of our standalone alternatives to After Effects is Apple Motion. If you use Final Cut Pro to edit your videos, this is one you should consider. While not as feature-packed as the others mentioned so far, it's a solid choice to create motion graphics that can easily be added to your projects in Final Cut Pro, instead of having to render your clips to preview them. Motion allows for the playback of your titles, effects, and transitions in real time, and allows you to work with 2D, 3D, and 360-degree compositions, with an added bonus of being able to choose from more than 19 royalty-free graphics designed by Apple. While limited, their tools do help you in the creation of animated 2D and 3D titles with drag and drop behaviors. Also included are more than 200 effects and filters to improve the quality of your project. As you'd expect for a program created by Apple, Motion is only available for MacOS. Its one-time cost is only $49.99. These next few programs are for those of you that prefer open-source software, first of which is Blender. This program is great if you plan on doing 3D animation and effects acts with features to satisfy both amateurs and professionals. Best of all, it's completely free. While not being so great at 2-dimensional effects, you'll find all the tools you would need for 3D animation modeling, sculpting, visual effects, and even includes a video editor with a basic set of tools. Just like most visual effects and motion graphics software, Blender does have a steep learning curve. Thankfully, tutorials including a user manual are available on their site. Learn how to use it. Blender is truly a fantastic free and open source program you should consider. It's available for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. When working with 2D visual effects, Natron is the best open source alternative to After Effects, being the least well known of any program. In this video, it was first released in 2014 and is updated on a regular basis, with a ton of useful features. Its primary focus is on 2D and 2.5D effects. Just like Blackmagic Fusion, it uses a node-based approach to ease your workflow, specializing in real-time compositing. Some of its features include flexible rotoscoping and roto painting tools to edit your masks and animate them. A point tracker is embedded to track multiple points, and when rendering it takes full advantage of your GPU to render your projects faster. To increase the functionality of the program, more than 250 plugins have been created by the Natron community, which are available for you to use at no additional cost. While Natron does have an excellent selection of tools for 2D, Blender is a better open source option if you're looking for 3D tools and motion graphics. Natron is available for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. Thanks for watching. Links to the software I mentioned can be found in the description. If this video is useful for you, give it a thumbs up. If you use the program not mentioned, let us know about it in the comments. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss out on our latest top 5s and other tech-related stuff here on Zain's Tech.